Hello everyone, my name is Prashant and today we will discuss about the history of trade union movement in India. So in this lecture we will discuss about the various progresses which have been made from the time 1852 till date. So various stages are involved in the progress of development of trade union in India. The growth and development of labor movement and that of trade unions in India can be studied under the following four stages. First stage is before the period of 1918. Second is between the two great wars, between the time period of 1918 to 1938. After that, some progresses have been made during and after the Second World War, 1939 to 1947, and at last, in Indian scenario, some developments, or we can say the major developments which have been made in the history of trade union is after India attained the independence in the year 1947. So like other countries, development of trade union movement in India is coextensive with large scale industries. After the industrialization which have been made by the Britishers, various industries were established at several places or parts of the country. These industries were regulated with the aims and objectives of making more and more profits by the capitalists belonging to the British Dominion. The development of large industrial units brought about many changes in working and living environment of workers and created a number of complex problems. So after the industrialization, these industries require labor forces to fulfill their aims and objectives of gaining more and more profit, and for that they exploited the working classes, and due to this the exploitation of these working classes coexisted with the industrialization within the territory of India. So if we can summarize, then we can easily understand that by the introduction of new machinery, the new lines of production, the various production units were established at that time, and the concentration of industry in certain big cities like Calcutta, Bombay, and Surat gave birth to a new class of wage earners and divided the industrial society into capitalists and laborers. So these modern cities provided impetus for the emergence of two classes of people, that is the capitalist classes and laborers, in which the capitalist classes exploited the laborers for fulfilling their objectives of earning more and more profits and making money from the sweated works performed by these laborers. The Indian labor union movement is about 14 decades old. It started around 1850s and continued for several years till 1947 and after that. The early years of movement was generally led by philanthropists and social reformers who organized workers and protected them against inhuman working conditions. So the early movements which provided for the circumstances for the growth of trade union movement in India were led by the various social reformers and philanthropists who were basically educated Indian peoples who were influenced by the sociologist ideology and want to work for the betterment of their peoples. The earliest sign of labor agitation in India was a movement in Bengal in 1860, which was led by Dinbandhu Mitra, a very famous social reformer of Bengal, to protest against the hardship of indigo cultivators and also the plantation workers. During these during these plants, or we can say the cultivators of Bengal were forced to cultivate on certain parts of their land the indigo which was not beneficial for their cultivation. So basically it was a forced labor performed by the Britishers on the natives of Indian people. Due to this agitation, the government appointed an indigo commission. The report of the commission reflects upon the gross cruelties perpetrated by foreign planters with the aid and under the protection of laws framed by the British government, especially for this purpose. So all these things, the exploitation were done by these capitalist people under the protection of laws which were framed by the Britishers for fulfilling their objectives. These laws were basically provided for a concept of three kathia system, under which the cultivators of these territories were forced to cultivate indigo plants on 3 by 20 parts of their lands. So this was a forced labor, and against this the social reformer Mitra agitated, and ultimately these process of indigo cultivation was abolished, and there was also reason that synthetic indigo was discovered at that time, which takes place of the plantation of indigo cultivation. After that, the first concentrated action was taken in 1875 under the leadership of Sorabji Chaparji, which was also a social reformer belonging to Bengal, who along with some social workers started the agitation to draw the attention of government to the deplorable conditions of women and child labor in Indian industries. So under the leadership of Sorabji Chaparji, various social reformers started agitating for the betterment of the working conditions of women and child laborers who were working under the deplorable conditions within the premises of the British industries on meager wages. After that, motivated by the agitation held by Sorabji Chaparji, in the year 1877, workers of the Empress Mill at Nagpur observed a strike over wage rates. They demanded for a hike in wage rates which were given to these workers by the capitalists, which were very low at that time. The most important incident which is responsible for establishment of trade union in India happened in the year 1884. In this, a labor conference was organized in Bombay under the leadership of N.M. Lokhande, who was a factory worker in one of the industries of Britishers. A memorandum was submitted to the Second Factory Commission to highlight the poor conditions of the workers, but no improvement was noticed. So the British capitalists or the British government paid no attention on the memorandum submitted by these social reformer, or we can say the N.M. Lokhande. Due to that, a mass meeting was organized in Bombay on April 21, 1890, which was attended by about 10,000 workers, which was a historic movement in the history of trade union movement in India. In this meeting, a resolution was passed, and under this resolution, they were demanding for 1 weekly off day, half an hour's rest at noon, reduction in working hours, payment of wages not later than 15th day of the month, and compensation to injuries sustained by a worker on duty. So, if any injuries happen during the working hours, then earlier no compensation was paid by the employer, but due to this resolution, a demand was placed before the employers and the authorities. The mill owners agreed to grant a weekly holiday to textile workers, and due to the acceptance of these demands, we can say only some demands were accepted by the mill owners. The workers were encouraged by this success, and the Bombay Mill Hand Association was formed in 1890 by Sri N.M. Lokhande, who was also the leader of that movement. This was the first trade union in India. So this incident is considered as the first incident which provided for the circumstances, or which was responsible for the establishment of first trade union in India. In subsequent years, a number of unions were formed, such as the Amalgamated Society of Railway Servants of India and Burma, for European and Anglo-Indian railway employees, the Printers Union of Calcutta in the year 1905, the Bombay Postal Union at Calcutta and Madras 1907, the Kamgar Hitvardhak Sabha in the year 1909, and the Social Service League in the year 1910. Along with some progress, there were some defects in these movements. These movements or the agitations were sporadic organizations and could not make the real start in labor movement. Basically, these agitations were organized in certain industries, and a collective approach, a unified approach was not made by the workers, the labor organizations at that time. The leaders of such organizations were primarily social reformers and law-abiding persons and belonged to moderate schools of politics. The objectives of these associations were to promote welfare activity. So there was a lack of leadership among the laborers, and these agitation and movements were basically led by moderate politicians of that time, and the main objective of that reformers was only to promote welfare activities for the betterment of these working classes. Thank you so much.